Hi there, I'm Peter Millard, and in this week's workshop we're going to take a quick look at small battery-powered exterior lights with built-in motion sensor. It's coming up next. So, battery-powered exterior motion-sensitive lights. Well, what am I doing talking about them? Way back in the old handyman days, people would often ask me to fit an external light for them. Back then I could. These days you can't, because you have to be a qualified electrician to do any kind of exterior electrical work. I don't really do the handyman type stuff anymore, but I do a few small jobs for clients who have known me for a long time. And just round about this sort of time, as the nights start to draw in, I've had a couple of questions from a couple of older clients in every sense about fitting them or looking at external lights. Well, you know, as I say, I can't really do much about ones that are already wired in, but I've come across these as an option. Of course, battery-powered LEDs. The LEDs last forever because they're very low power. The batteries last forever, and they're really, really, really good. This particular one is a Mr. Beams. I do like them as a company. Mr. Beams MB530. This is an IP44 rated light, so it's waterproof, so it's safe for indoors and outdoors. It has a built-in motion sensor and runs off 3 C-sized batteries. They're the ones that are the same length as a AA, but much fatter, but not as fat as the fattest ones, the D cells. There's a couple of things. I fitted a few of these, and I really like them, but there's a couple of things about them that might catch you out. I thought I'd just go through those quickly with you now. If you've ever set one of these up, usually on the back there are 2 little dials where you can alter the sensitivity and also the duration, the length of time that the light comes on for. No, these are actually just screws. They hold the back cover on, and I nearly snapped the casing in half trying to get this off without undoing these completely. So you do need to get a screwdriver or a coin on those and undo them completely, and then the cover will just pop straight off as long as you've undone them completely. Like that. And the screws aren't captive, they will fall out, so take care of those. And inside, it's a really simple little layout. All the gubbins, you don't have much control over anything, but what control there is actually hidden under the batteries. There's space in there for 3 batteries, you can see. And there's only sort of 2 modes available, really. There's what they call a glow mode, which you can switch on or off. That basically means the light just comes on when it gets dark. You know, that's the extent of it. And the other one, with that switched off, then it just acts as a motion sensor light. And there's two options, basically: minimum or maximum duration. That's the only sort of control you have. Minimum is about 20 seconds and maximum is about a minute. And really, that's the extent of it. You pop the batteries in the usual way against their springs. They have very helpful diagrams as to which way they should go in. Once they're in, it will usually fire up just to show you that it's working. And then you put it to one side. When that goes off after about 20 seconds or so, then it becomes motion sensitive, provided that it's dark enough for that to happen. What we'll do, we'll pop the lights off in a sec and show you just how bright it is. So I've opened up the aperture on my camera a little bit, because obviously 35 lumens out of this light is no match for the 4,000 lumens per panel that I've got up in my ceiling. But actually the light you get from it is perfectly adequate for something like a porch, or just somewhere where you need to sort of find your way or find a set of keys so that you can lock up in a dark night in an enclosed space like a porch. This would be perfectly good enough for you to sort of sort yourself out, or indeed for them to light your way along a path back to the house. Even in the corner of a shed where you might not have electrics already wired in there, and if you want an occasional light, this would do the job extremely well. Let's fire up the bigger lights and see what else we can see. God, surprisingly bright in your eyes, that. So yes, there we are. Simple, cheap, readily available little light. It's not really a security light, it's not bright enough for that, but perfect for, you know, porches, doorways, even large cupboards. And that's it, really. A really handy little piece of kit. I've fitted a few of these, haven't had any problems with them at all. The only sort of slight niggle with them is that there's no drilling template with them. Often with these you get a couple of holes on a piece of paper to show where you need to drill your screws. On the back here, the two screw holes are really quite close apart, but they are 27mm centres. It's not even an inch, you can't even blame Imperial Americans. So yeah, 27mm apart, which I guess is so that you could mount it onto a fence post or something if you do have them running down a garden or outside on a fence. But yes, two holes, 27mm parts in brickwork might be a little bit more challenging. So there we are, that's the Mr. Beam MB530. Really tiny little porch light. I fitted a few of these for people recently, and they're working really well, I have to say. Kind of fit them and forget them as far as I'm concerned. All completely legal because they're battery powered, so there's no regulatory compliance problems at all doing that. I hope you found that useful. I hope you found it interesting. I think they may well be very handy, or variations of these may well be very handy little lights for if you do have a small workshop or shed at the end of your garden, for lighting away or for around the workshop, or even as security. As I say, they do make a variety of different lights for different uses, and I'll put a list of those in the description below. But that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.